Hello and welcome back to the Tapping Out podcast. We're coming to you today from Anchor, Spotify, and for the first time, YouTube. My guest today is JD Griffey. He's a practitioner of BJJ, Muay, MMA and Pro Wrestling. He's currently signed with Siam Star MMA and has recently featured on AEW Dark. Enough talk. Let's dive right in. Thank you very much for joining the podcast today, JD. How are you today?
What's happening? I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me. I'm excited, man. That's my first conversation with somebody from across the pond. You feel me?
And literally, I'm in the other side of the world, like the other side of the globe.
Right.
Not even the UK yet. Yeah. I'm over in Asia,
right.
So yeah, definitely.
Jeez, you out there, yeah.
Yeah. And when we saw about, when we were talking about time zones and whatnot, and then you said Central Time, I was like, that's a first for me. Usually, it's Pacific or Eastern.
or Eastern Time, yeah. Central Time Zone.
So where are you based? Where are you based at the moment?
Currently residing in Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma, okay.
It's nothing here, bro. Like nothing here. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Wide open spaces, yeah? Wide open spaces.
Oh man, just look out. Nothing. Like just nothing out here. But it's been a fun experience.
Yeah, that's the whole place of JR, right? Jim Ross?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yep, and Jake Hager. Yeah, Jake's from here too. So
Jake Hager, yeah. Did you get a chance to catch up with Jim Ross? Did you see him in your travels?
I saw. I've seen JR a few times. He's always super polite, but you know how it gets at those shows. It's like super crazy. So everybody, it's hard to just like stop and have a conversation unless it's like catering. Like that's the only time people have time to talk. Other than that, it's like, hey, buddy, all right, yeah, all right. So,
I have to imagine actually that JR likes his catering food. Yeah, he likes to go for a few visits.
I mean, look, the food is so good. So if the food's good, everybody, why not go back? That's how I feel. Why not?
I always say like Mark Henry. Like I'm watching a lot of AEW these days, and I always say Mark Henry or Tony Schiavone always talking about whenever they go to a new city, the first thing they'll talk about is the food, right?
Bro,
the steaks, all the ribs.
A few weeks back, we sat down at the table, and Keith and I sat down at the table, and Mark Henry was like, "Did you guys get any of these ice cream bars? You got to get the ice cream bars." And I was just like, bro, where did you find those? Like, no, we need it. So he's got like secret hiding spots in every city of like snacks where only he has them. Like, bro, where did you get those? Like, what?
It's a genius idea. I need to start doing
that. He's a connoisseur. Yes, he's definitely a connoisseur of good food, so.
Maybe I should start like around my desk for the podcast in here. I should start hiding some stuff, just like under the drawer, in the drawer,
You never know, man. You never know, man. You never know when a snack might break out, bro. You might have a snack attack, bro. You got to be ready. Who knows?
Okay, so let's jump into some icebreakers. The first one on my mind is what I like to ask people, most of my guests, is JD, what's the scariest thing you've ever done just for fun?
Oh man. A lot of my friends tell me I live like I have a death wish, but I don't know, just on the highway on my Gixxer, my Gixxer 900, carving through traffic on the highway.
Yeah, man, just howling down the highway on your motorbike, right?
Motorbike. That's kind of my thing right now. It's my motorcycle.
Oh man, living life on the edge.
Yeah. My parents aren't fans of it, but man, I live dangerously,
Yeah.
High speeds on the highway on a motorcycle. It's not as dangerous as some of the people I've been in the ring with. So I'm like, it's like motorcycles are where y'all want to draw the line. Okay. I've been in the ring with Lance Hoyt for I've been in the ring with Lance Hoyt for like 15 minutes. That's much more dangerous than going 110 on a highway. Like that's much more dangerous, you
Oh,
know.
sure. It's dangerous. It's dangerous for a whole different reason, right?
For
Yeah,
a whole
yeah,
new set of reasons. Same
yeah.
injuries though, for some reason. You can come out with the same injuries.
Nice one. Okay, so, can you describe for us in as much detail as possible what's in the
Okay.
trunk of your car right now, or the trunk of your motorbike? You know yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't have anything in the motorbike, but in the trunk of my car right now is a few suits for my dry cleaning that I need to take to the dry cleaner. Full full transparency. They've been in my trunk for like about a week. I need to take them.
Ooh,
They've been in there about a
okay.
week. And yeah, just my fight bag, my gym bag with like my gloves, pads, and stuff like that, and my gi. But that's about it. I don't keep a lot of stuff in the trunk, you know. So
Okay. Yeah. Got
that's
it.
about
Got it.
it.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Good answer. That's a good answer. Okay. And last one.
Can I ask you real quickly? Like, what's the scariest answer of that when you ask that question to someone you interview? Like has anybody ever been like, a body's in the trunk? Like, what?
Well,
like,
you know, the
what?
website where I found these icebreakers, yeah, it's like maybe they'll be like, yeah, they'll give a crazy answer, or maybe they'll be usually they just give the straightforward stuff, like, you know, the tire jack and that kind of thing, the spare wheel. They're very they're very clear.
I don't even have one of those. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying that. I don't even have a spare in the truck right now. So
I don't think even when I had a car when I was in the UK, I didn't even have like the hazard triangle that you're supposed to have or anything really. So I mean, touch wood, I never actually had a proper crash, but like I'd have been screwed.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and okay, one more then, yeah. So thinking back to your time in high school, middle school, wherever it would have been,
yeah.
Can you describe to us what would have been in your locker in school, in your high school locker?
Oddly, I was super duper organized, so only textbooks.
Okay.
And
all right, a studious
yeah,
man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I was never. I used to get grossed out by having friends who like they open their locker and a bunch of stuff all like Pop-Tarts or whatever. I'm just like, dude, like, what are you doing? But yeah, most it would be like textbooks, maybe a after school bag or something of that nature, or my lunch. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Nice. There you go.
Yeah,
clear cut. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
very.
like.
Some people would say boring. Some people would say honest.
I mean, no, it's not like a Saved by the Bell type locker or anything like that, where it's like a bunch of crazy stuff coming out. It's like, nope, it was very.
Yeah.
School was my thing where I was like, I got a laser focus on school. You know?
I had someone else who was like, recently another podcast, and he was like, well, I don't want to talk too much about my locker. And I was like, oh, but then he started talking about what was in his dormitory room instead, and talking about his vinyl CD collection and vinyl disc collection and stuff. That was cool.
Not even that exciting for me. It was like the same stuff that was in anybody's dorm, like your video games, your like, you know, your normal stuff. I've tried to be a normal guy my whole life until I got into wrestling, and then next thing you know, it's all crazy.
Wrestling and BJJ and
you know, Muay Thai, yeah, indeed.
Muay Thai, yeah. I was actually I just filmed the intro before we got started, and I was struggling to say that Nak Muay, is that right? If I said that,
Nak Muay, yeah, Nak
Muay. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might have to retry it. Yeah. I might have to try the
Nak
intro.
Muay Farang, yes. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, man. Well, yeah, let's get into that. So, how have the last 12 months been for you, man? I mean, I saw you on AEW Dark, and I guess the last 12 months have been pretty crazy, yeah?
Banana sandwich, to say the least. It's been very educational, more than anything. Like, it's been a ride of highs and lows, to say the least. But more than anything that I appreciate from this past year of my career, my journey, it's been super educational, like learning what to do, learning what not to do, performing in front of different crowds in different countries, and just absorbing the industry, the sport, the art, the profession of professional wrestling. It's been educational more than anything. Like what I've learned are things that I can use in life.
Right.
You know.
And as far as for the pro wrestling, then who are you looking to most at the moment for the inspiration? Like, who are you watching? Would you say who are you watching more intently than other people? You know, for the
as far as for matchups, or as far as for like inspiration.
Both. Let's go both.
Well, like as far as for like inspiration, it's a lot of people that I work out with, that I get to work out with on a regular basis, like guys like Keith Lee, or like a Shayna Baszler, or guys like Matt Riddle, or just my different MMA teammates and things of that nature. So a lot of those people is readily accessible. Of like if it's like, yo, hey, I want to do something really, really dangerous to somebody to mess up their arm, you can hit Baszler up and be like, yo, Baszler, what should I do here? And after she makes fun of my hands for a little bit, she'll give me, But yeah, inspiration is a lot of people in my circle. Yeah. A lot of people in my circle, like a guy like a Shane Taylor or a Jonathan Gresham, Keith, obviously, Athena, formerly known as Ember Moon in WWE. So a lot of those guys, like in the circle, you look around and go like, hey guys, what do you think here? And we're all very complimentary of each other's skill sets and things of that nature. So the tribe that I run with is pretty solid. So definitely look to them for inspiration. As far as for matchups, I want to run back with Tony Nese, man. I came into AEW with a different, I was like, look, I'm going to come in. I'm going to do the whole traditional, I'm going to tap gloves. I'm going to do all of, and he's like, no, he sucker punched me.
He did. I remember. I remember the match.
I was like, so we doing that. Oh, okay, cool. Again, like I said, educational. I was coming in. I was like, I don't want to be brash. I don't want to be arrogant. I don't want to come in like a guy who's padded his stats on the indies. I want to come in, work for the bottom up, be respectful. And then he shoots for a sucker punch takedown. I was like, oh, okay. So again, very educational. Guys, for matchups, man, I want to run another one back with John Gresham, who is, in my opinion, one of the greatest grapplers of our generation. Man, Swerve Strickland. I mean, all the names that you say, the guys like the Will Ospreays, the Jay Whites, I feel like I would give the same answers that almost everybody else gives, but somebody that I think would definitely cause matchup problems for me that I want to test myself against is Lee Moriarty. That guy,
he's killing it right now. Yeah, he's killing it.
I've watched him
for a while.
I've watched him, and it's one of those things where it's like, I've tried to make my career on stacking bodies that people will notice, right? So I'm going to go, who's the best grappler? John Gresham, I want that guy. Who's one of the best strikers? Loki or Shane Taylor or Kenny King or Jay Lethal. Like, all right, I want to fight that guy. Who's one of the best luchadors? Cool, I want that guy. So I really just try to lock in on who's at the top of their game. And like, I think Lee Moriarty is a name that I'm like, I want that guy. Fuego del Sol, who's basically, he's everything. Like he's got the high flying stuff. He's got the luchador stuff, but he's a striker. He can get in there and bang if you need him to. He's a good grappler. He's got a counter for everything you need, so you go, maybe a guy like a Fuego. But I think I want to crack at Ricky Starks, obviously. But
obviously,
But obviously, who hasn't been in a room with Ricky Starks and not wanted to punch him in the face?
Not me yet. I'm hoping one day when we can travel back to the States.
Ricky's a good dude. Yeah. Ricky's a good dude, but he just chooses to just want to, But just a few of those. Lee Moriarty's the main one though. Of like, I want the smoke with that guy, definitely. And Tony Nese. For me right now, Tony Nese, Lee Moriarty. I want the smoke.
Same thing, same thing for Ricky Starks, same thing with MJF, right? I think everybody wants to punch him in the mouth.
but he's so good though, man. You're like,
but he's so good at everything he does.
I really want to. It's like, I really want to smash this dude. I really want to smash this dude. But he's so good, man. So you go, hey, I can't. Yeah. You can't knock him. And you see that on the internet, especially with a lot of wrestlers. It's like, oh, we don't like this guy because he says these things, and then we want the authenticity. That dude's authentically an ass, and he's giving it to you, and you're complaining about it. You can't drive in both lanes, people. What are we doing?
Right. Yeah, got it. So you mentioned Keith Lee already a few times, and also someone that I very much enjoy watching when he was in WWE and now in AEW. So how far back does it go? How long have you guys been best friends? Excuse me.
Oh man, like pretty much from day one, man. Like he's been like we kind of gravitated, as young men, very, very quickly. We kind of just clicked immediately. We grew up in neighboring towns. He was in Mansfield, I was in South Lake. We crossed paths and stuff like that, but we became like bonded like once we got into wrestling, and we just hit the road together. And yeah, man, he kind of like, it's like, are we bros? We're totally bros. And like it's been one of those things that our families have become close and stuff throughout the years and things of that nature. So yeah, definitely he and I go back a lot. I can't all of my good and bad memories, Keith was somewhere in the vicinity of sentiment. It's just like, he's the common denominator.
He does seem like a guy that, from what I see of him on TV, he does seem like a guy as soon as he warms up to someone, that's it. Bros for life.
He's definitely one of those guys. And it's really weird. If we're in trouble, he's either gotten us into trouble or he's going to get us out of trouble. And I'm just normally along for the ride. That's the story I'm telling. Is it accurate? I don't know. But that's the story I'm telling. That's my story. No.
So we've seen
he's my bro.
Yeah. So we've seen that he's been having a bit of trouble with
indeed
Hobbs and Starks lately. So are we going to see you jump back into the AEW circle soon? And
man, look, I've been tempted like every time, but like again, like he and I have an understanding of ourselves as competitors and combatants. Though we're friends, we kind of like to let each other fight our own battles. I think Swerve and Keith have that in hand when the battle is all said and done. I've been tempted, I won't lie, but just like he didn't run out when Nee said pull what he pulled, I'm not gonna go out there. We kind of like to let each other fight our own battles. It's a mutual respect thing. It's not like I don't want to jump in. It's like he got it.
He got it. And usually 9 times out of 10 he does have it.
I don't know, seeing Hobbs pick him up like that, I've never seen somebody just lift Keith up like that. I was like, Taz pulled a bitch move, but I feel how I feel, but yeah, man, I've never seen somebody like Hobbs pick him up. So he's got his work cut out for him, dealing with Hobbs. But I mean, I've seen a bigger men fall to Keith, so it's gonna be a good matchup. So I think that story is far from done between all of those guys.
What else are you interested in at the moment when it comes to the AEW programming or just wrestling, the pro wrestling in general? What else are you focusing on? What else do you enjoy keeping up with?
Oddly, I've just now tried to get more in tune with tag team wrestling, because like in all elite,
tag team wrestling, in all elite, in AEW, it's so good.
But oddly, I saw, FTR, I saw them face one another in that singles match for the Owen Hart thing. And I was like, this may be one of the most brilliant contests I've ever seen in the entirety of my life. and these are tag wrestlers, and I'm like, how are they that good at tag wrestling and singles wrestling? Like how? Like you
So
can't
much
be good
emotion,
at
right? So
everything.
much
Like
emotion.
you can't be
Yeah,
good at everything. And they
yeah.
were like, yeah, we can. Watch us. And then they did, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I've tried to get into the tag wrestling. The women's division at AEW is a lot of, a lot of good wrestlers.
It's also stacked,
Rosa,
yeah. It's also stacked.
Thunder Rosa is carrying the division right now on her back. Jade Cargill, who is a once in a lifetime athlete. Say what you want to say about her attitude. She's a once in a lifetime athlete, and she knows it. So, definitely the women's division is good. They're bringing in who are talent all the time. So, I mean, I'm just loving like pretty much all of wrestling. Everybody's so good right now. That's the exciting thing is like, we have a habit of just seeing what's hot right now, and we just think that that's all there is. But if you just like look back over the past few years, like even with WWE and AEW and like even in NXT, like everybody's been so good for so long, like regardless of the corporate drama that goes on. You think of some of these matchups, like you go, everybody's so good, and we're having so many good wrestling matches, so many contests that are just brilliant and just like pull the emotion out of you. And that's the stuff that I personally would rather focus on in wrestling, other than what the people don't like. How the internet does that kind of thing. But yeah, I've just been kind of just absorbing wrestling as a whole, because when you start out as a fan, you kind of gravitate towards the one-on-one matchups, and you miss all the intricacies of everything this industry brings. So I've been more just looking at everything. After CMLL, I started paying more attention to Lucha Libre, and so I'm just trying to absorb everything right now, because everybody's good right now. So it's a good time to be a wrestler and a better time to be a wrestling fan, man. So I'm
it's
digging
great.
it, man.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I believe in a way, even though it might not be completely in the general public opinion, I believe we are going through another golden era, and it's something. It's something that we'll look back on, in 20
and
30
the thing
years
is,
time.
We don't even know it yet. We don't even know it yet. Like when we are in these golden eras, when we're in these high times of performances and performers where everybody's good, we don't realize it when it's happening. I think we don't realize it until the rug gets snatched out from under us, and we kind of hit our bottom, and we're kind of like, oh man, that was really good. I wish I would have appreciated that more. And so it's like, I'm not waiting around on another attitude era. I'm just trying to appreciate wrestling for what it is right now and enjoy it, because there's so many people pouring their hearts into this industry. And I think we should focus on that outside of the corporate drama that goes on in the news and, internet wrestling community, that kind of gimmick.
Yeah, for sure.
In my opinion, not a popular opinion, but that's me.
No. This is why I'm enjoying this podcast so much, man. I just speaking to all these different people, all the different perspectives, man. Yeah. I want to hear all sides, Outside of the AEW and WWE products, how long have you been with Siam Star MMA? How long have you been with those guys?
Man, I started with Siam Star MMA at the actual Siam Star. It was like, I want to say 2012, 2011 or 12, I think.
So 10 years, almost 10 years.
My Muay Thai coach, Carlos Moreno, the Arjan there, he has actually been around for way longer than that. But when he moved from California to Texas, I just ended up going to that gym with him. And since he's now moved back to California for Team Cheetah Muay Thai, I've stayed back at Siam Star, and it's been like a family there. It's a bunch of great coaches, great staff, great athletes, and I definitely enjoy my time on the mats as well.
Yeah.
In the ring and pro wrestling.
Have you had any pro MMA fights? at
I
all?
didn't get to fight pro. I fought
Okay.
3 AMI fights. I was 3-0, and
3-0. Okay, good. Yeah,
yeah.
nice.
So, oh yeah, I ran a few fades, but it was one of those things. Funny story was it was weird because I was winning, but I guess I wasn't like a killer. I guess because you catch a guy with a flush head kick, he goes down and he's not responding. There's no part of me that wants to just mount and bounce his head off the canvas. You know what I mean? And so it was one of those things where my corner would be like, if the shoe was on the other foot,
He would bounce
it
your
would
head.
have,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, well, that's why I got to drop him first. But it
Mm.
was one of those things where I'm all about the art and competing, but as you know, MMA sometimes turns into just savagery and just two
Hmm.
guys trying to cause brain damage, and it doesn't
Right.
take skill to do that. In my opinion, it doesn't take skill to do that. There's no skill, there's no restraint. I feel like it's a greater strength to catch a guy flush, nose down, and be able to use restraint and respect. And I think that's the true way of a martial artist.
Yeah. Like the walk
Being
off
able,
KO, yeah. The walk off
yeah,
KO
it's
that like
and
Sean
I feel like
O'Malley's
that's
famous
more
for.
epic. That's more epic to me,
Yeah.
right? I feel like that's
Yeah.
more epic, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like boom, I know I got him. He's out of there, right? But yeah, I've been in martial arts since I was a child. I'm a firm believer that martial arts is about making a world a better place while not destroying the things that would try to destroy you.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you can get through life and do that, you've done all right.
I was just gonna get into that a little bit with the past. What was your earliest memory that you can remember of your time in MMA? What was the earliest thing you remember?
Uh, the I remember starting it and being so excited, watching a lot of my heroes like a Rashad Evans or an Anderson Silva or a GSP. Like I remember watching all these guys and being like, I'm gonna just go do that. And
Hmm.
then actually doing my first Shark Tank and my first fight camp. And a Shark Tank is basically it's it's a simulated fight exercise. Basically, you have 5 teammates, and they'll have you a minute apiece to themselves. So at all times, whoever's in there with you is fresh. So
Okay.
say I've got 5 other people. First guy's in there. First minute, I'm with that guy doing stand up, right? And then the next minute, I got to work from my back. And then the next minute, it's a new guy doing something from there. And then you get a minute rest, and then you do 3 5-minute rounds of that. And it kind of takes you to deep water. I think that's my first memory that I was in like shock from MMA, because I remember
Right.
being tired and feeling like I was in deep water and I couldn't swim, and thinking like, oh man, maybe this isn't for me. And then the coaching staff pulling me aside and going, no, that's exactly what that drill is designed to do, to take you to deep water and try to drown you. And look, we're having this conversation, which means you're okay, which means when you're actually in deep water, it won't be as deep as what we did, because you're fighting the same guy. You're not fighting a new guy every minute. You've been to deep water and you know you'll be okay, so you won't panic. I think that was like my first big memory of MMA, of just martial arts in general, that like left an impact on me of, no matter what's going on, I'll be okay. And it really helped in professional wrestling, which there's so many ebbs and flows where you feel like you're in deep water and you feel like you can't swim. And I'm cool breeze. But then there's times like this past few months where I couldn't miss if I tried. But I try to stay cool and
Hmm.
stay even keeled through all of it. I think martial arts has definitely been able to help me keep a level head when
Yeah.
emotions get crazy.
And what moment when you were when you were growing up, sorry, what moment made you realize, oh, this is exactly what I want to do right now. I want to continue and pursue martial arts.
um, oddly, I think that choice was definitely made for me. and I'm glad that it was. My parents were very big on finishing what you start. Like if you make a decision to do something, like, see it through. And so there were times, as kids, when you first take that first bump, that first tap on the chin, it freaks you out. And so I think just my parents just being like, no, see it through. I think after I was like, well, I'm going to be here, so I might as well be good at it, because my dad isn't going to let me quit, so I'm going to be here. So I might. So I think once I made that decision, I think like once that decision was made for me, I realized it was the best decision, which I think all good parenting is. As a kid, you go, you're trying to ruin my life. And then you get older and you go, oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Right.
You're like, got it, Pops. Got it, Mom. Thanks. Gotcha. So I think it was more of a decision. I think it was more of a decision made for me that I appreciate it and I understand. And with understanding, looking back, I would have made the same decision if I would have been more mature. So
everyone kind of goes through the same kind of thing, right? I think when we're all kids, we don't realize the opportunities that are being presented for us by our parents.
We don't know what we don't know.
And then the light bulb goes off, in your head.
It's always the walk of shame, like, you were right, and it's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, parents can be intense when you're growing up, but then as you get older, you start to I think you just start to appreciate them, and just
we don't know what we don't know. Yeah, we don't. My dad used to say, you don't know what you don't know until you do, and it never made
any sense. There you go.
It doesn't make any sense. It's like, what? And he'd always try to Batman it. He'd try to say something profound and then like ninja off, and it's like, what? No, that doesn't make any sense. What? Like,
just like Naruto, right? Just Naruto,
he just, you feel me? Repping my village. But he'd say something like that. And so we don't know what we don't understand until we live long enough to gain understanding, the wisdom, I guess, if you will.
Yeah. Did you always gravitate towards the BJJ and Muay Thai?
In wrestling or just in life in general?
Just in general, from when you started off.
When I started off, like, I always I think as kids you kind of gravitate towards whatever's kind of thrown in front of you. So at the time, like, a lot of my friends, we watched like Samurai Jack or like, Power Rangers and these are all
Power
like,
Rangers,
and things of that nature. And so like all of those influences were, I watched Dexter's Laboratory and I studied science, and I watched a lot of martial arts stuff, so I wanted to be a martial artist. So I think it was more of just all the shows I watched. It was Power Rangers. It was like, we're normal teenagers, but when the time comes, we turn into super duper martial arts machines, right? Yeah. So you go, why not me? Right? You go, why not me?
Am I normal? I don't want to be normal.
Yeah. And so I became a pro wrestler, which is kind of like a Power Ranger, right? Like, I don't know.
Sure. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I grew up a lot with Mortal Kombat, and
that was my jam.
And then Deadly Alliance came along. I remember the first one on PS2. And that's actually how I learned about different fighting styles, because every character would have 3 and you would see it in the bottom of the screen. So I'm like, oh, that's Hapkido. Oh, that's Jeet Kune Do. And so on and so on, And then also Bruce Lee, right? Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. And it's just crazy stuff.
So that was your introduction to all the different disciplines of martial arts. You were like, wait, that's the thing?
Yeah. I was talking
Mortal
to
Kombat too. Like, what a bizarre place to learn that. It's like Mortal Kombat.
I was talking to another guy on another podcast.
That's unique, dude.
Yeah. And like, I was saying to him, and this guy I was interviewing, excuse me, was a big voice actor in Metal Gear Solid, it's called. And I said to him, and I was straight out, I was like, Chris, I was like, I learned about nuclear deterrence through your video game franchise. I learned about the Cold War and stuff. And like, yeah. And it's
the
like
Patriots, bro. The Patriots, they were scary. That was a scary organization, bro. The Patriots were not playing. Yeah. They were not playing. Yeah.
Like Hydra, it's like the Hydra of like the MGS universe.
You know what? I never thought of that, but I think I learned about nuclear deterrence from Metal Gear Solid. Like,
and I said to him, and the guy was like, wow, that's so cool. Like,
I'm like, look, Snake, I need you to pull this off. In trouble, Snake. I need you to pull.
You need to go and save the world. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Golly, now that you say it, I'm like, dang, I do too. Huh.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And it's funny, like, and this is the thing when we said about parents being intense. And when I was growing up, my parents were like, all you do is play video games all day. But now I've grown up, I'm like, no, man, no, mom, no, dad. I learned a lot about different things, Yeah. Yeah. Well, I learned about storytelling, right? Kids. Storytelling and stuff through video games.
True enough, but they used to say like video games won't do anything for you. I'm like, hold on, there are game streamers that are making an absurd amount of money.
Millions, yeah. They're making bank.
Absurd. I think that might be our only claim to I told you so with the generation before us. Is like, I thought you said video games wouldn't make money.
Mm-hmm. Right on. So that was it. So then you moved. So let's talk about CMLL. Yeah.
Yes.
A big place you went to. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
CMLL is one of the oldest wrestling organizations on the planet, period. Like for the industry, as far as for pro wrestling as we know it. Based out of Mexico City, of course, a lot of tradition. I was baptized in the lucha libre culture, and I think I didn't understand it when we went. I got brought in, recruited and brought in, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna bring you in. You'll be there for 3 weeks," and I didn't know what to expect. So we get off the plane, we get there, and I knew a few wrestlers that were there. A guy named Ryan Remington and Alex Gracia, who is another talented wrestler. She's been on AEW a few times as well. But we got there, and it's the culture of wrestling. Like, we have super fans in the States. I'm sure you have super fans, where you are.
Absolutely,
like in Mexico, it's like a part of the culture.
Right. It's a way of life. Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so it was one of those things where we didn't understand the gravity of it, of the opportunity that we were given. And so as soon as we got off of the plane, the shuttle took us to the hotel from the airport. We had a liaison meet us there, obviously. Took us to the hotel. We dropped our bags off. They were like, change, we're going to the arena. So we changed. They're like, no, put y'all's workout clothes on. And we like, oh, we're just gonna get some photo ops, day one, CMLL, right. And we get there, and day one, Nitro and Ultimo Guerrero, I'm trying to remember who all else was there. We got there, we took pictures, and then we ran stairs for an hour and a half. Like,
it's just up, down,
in the Arena Mexico. The Arena Mexico is like 5 levels because they have like 2 like lower levels as well. And so you run up the stairs, you run all the way around, down the stairs, back up. That's 1 lap.
Okay. Yeah. How long per lap? How long per lap? How many minutes for a lap?
Oh, to do 1 lap? Oh man, it was, I don't even know. It felt like eternity, if I'm being honest. It felt like eternity. But after that, it was like, okay, I think this was to get acclimated because the elevation is so different in Mexico City versus where I was from. So I felt like I couldn't breathe getting off the plane. Sure. And then going straight to train. I was like, oh, I'm about to die. This is it. This is how it is for me. Like this, like I'm gonna be that guy. You can't be the guy that dies first.
You can't be the dying. You can't be the guy that dies at CMLL.
You can't be that guy, right? You know, right?
On your gravestone, it just says that guy.
Yeah, it's like that guy. Yeah, and everybody was like, yeah, that's how they got him. No, but yeah. So it was just that first experience of like they take it that seriously. They're like, no, y'all aren't on vacation. This is not a publicity stunt. This isn't for this isn't like a talent exchange. This isn't talent. Like if you're gonna be here, we're about to baptize you and you're gonna sink or swim. And it changed the way I trained after that. It changed the way I saw wrestling because there were certain stars in CMLL that, again, you know, a lot of the luchadors, they perform under a mask. So a lot of these people are famous. The mask is famous, but if they walk past you down the street, you wouldn't know because they protect it so much. I remember being with a lot of the wrestlers and they wouldn't sit with us because we were seeing on all of the promotional material, but it was our faces. So they would go, all right, they would obviously put two together. We were sitting with you that we're probably wrestlers as well. And so that was like the different thing of like, this is like a part of their like culture, dude. Like this is not a game. So a lot of these guys would go work at their shops or something in front of the freaking arena, shut it down, go perform on a show, take a shower, come back out, go back to selling, you know, whatever they're vending till like midnight, shut down. And guess what? They're the first ones in line to train at 9 in the morning the next day.
Crazy.
I was, bruh, it was different. I was like, we need to get our stuff together. Like it was different. And so
we need to get our shiz together if we're going to survive. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and so it's one of those things, again, like more of what you alluded to, you know, in martial arts, it mentally got me prepared for it. This is definitely deep water, but I'll be all right. I just got to swim. And so it made me better, man. It definitely made me better. And it's an experience I'll never, ever forget. And in the summertime, I'll be heading back there soon. So I'm excited about that. I'm undefeated in the Arena Mexico. So, you know, I'm trying to
there you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Those stairs, those stairs didn't beat you.
You know,
they didn't beat you.
The stairs didn't beat me. I was like, if I'm going out, but yeah, it was cool too. My first match in Mexico, which TJP had to tell me how unheard of that was. My first match in Mexico was
TJP. I remember TJP.
He was explaining to me that, you know, that's such an honor, and we didn't understand it at the time. More of what you were saying, like these golden opportunities, we don't understand. Like the opportunity that a lot of us were given was unheard of, and again, once you understand it and you can appreciate it, it's something that I wish I would have understood more, so I could have gotten that first experience and really absorbed it and understood what it meant to go do that. But I think the fact that I didn't know made me go out and perform without any anxiety or anything crazy like that, because it was just another match. You know what I mean? So there was a give and take from my ignorance in that scenario.
Yeah. When I was growing up as a wrestling fan, I always enjoyed seeing the luchadors, whether it was in WWF at the time, WWE, or WCW. Can you give us a list of your favorite top 5 luchadors, maybe right now on the spot?
On the spot. All right, on the spot. You know, I gotta go with Kalisto Sin Cara. Like, and you know, he had a rough stint in WWE, but like in Mexico at CMLL, like he's God, bro.
Right.
Like people, like he walks in the arena and people like faint and stuff. Like he's like, it's like Michael Jackson or something. It's like crazy.
And it's not because of the elevation.
It's like some like old school Elvis, like he points and they, it was like, what? Bro, what's going on? Akuma's another one. Robin. Trying to think who else off the top. Magnus was another good one. Obviously, Olympico, Ultimo Guerrero. Those are like classics, right? So
yeah. I'm surprised you didn't say Rey Mysterio, but okay.
Oh man, look, because the thing is like Rey is one of.
But it's a good list, though.
But listen, I think Rey will agree with what I'm about to say if he ever hears this. Rey will understand that though he is one of the most famous luchadors, that the fact of him being introduced to the American market, definitely put luchadors on the map. But I think he would agree that to not mention a lot of the people that I just mentioned will be a disservice to what Lucha Libre is.
I understand. Yeah.
Right. When you think of Lucha Libre, that's the first name you think of. But he goes, look, there are so many influences that created what the general public decides Lucha Libre is, right? Eddie Guerrero is another guy who.
Sure.
Eddie Guerrero might be the greatest of all time because he could have a match with somebody from Japan or a luchador, or he could go out there in Madison Square Garden and have a banger with a WWE guy like Brock Lesnar, and it was all the same to him, right?
Yeah.
So you got to mention the Guerrero family, like Chavo, who again is another guy who's just smooth as butter, but because of the American market, we don't know how good he is. Guys like Andrade, like these are guys who they've been influenced by all of these people that we name, but I feel like Rey's name always comes up. So I think Rey would agree that like just to only mention him or mention him first it's kind of like a given, and it's almost a disservice to everyone else who's pursued it, even though like again we can't take away from his catalog. No. Come on, it's Rey Mysterio Jr., man. Come on, like
come on. Come on.
Yeah, come on now. Like let's stop it. Come on now, let's get it. Come on. Yeah.
Got it. So again, we both grew up wrestling, huge part of both of our upbringings, I'm sure.
For sure.
So over the years, over the decades, what are the 5 wrestling matches that have stuck with you personally?
Do they have to be matches that I was in, or both, or just period?
Both. Yeah, both.
A match. Okay, I'm thinking a match that just like for real stuck with me, that like shook me, bro. This is so crazy because I'm getting like goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Yeah.
I feel like all my matches have Shawn Michaels in them too. But it was
hey man, one of the best ever.
Two off the top is Shawn and Kurt, Shawn and Flair. Shawn and Kurt at WrestleMania was like one where I was just like, bro, I haven't had feels like that in a while until FTR going against each other. Like, it had that display of like emotion and just personal pride for like, nah, bro, I'm better than you, and like let's go prove it. That match, and then Flair and Shawn.
Flair and Shawn was incredible.
Just the end. Flair's just he's trying to keep it together, and Shawn's like, I love you. I'm sorry. And he kicks him and covers him, and he cries and he holds him, and Rick's crying. And
everyone's crying. And everyone in the audience at WrestleMania is crying.
And everybody's crying. And then you think to yourself, like, we didn't realize in that moment, like we knew it was epic, right? We didn't realize the impact it had, because even though the people that were in that arena that night were emotional, like you gotta think people watching WrestleMania all around the world, like,
and people still talk about it to this day. This is what you mean.
Can you, like, people do, like, you gotta understand the influence and impact that you have. That I have a match and they talking about it 20 years, like
20 years later, 20 years plus.
Bro, come on, think about some of these matches, bro. Rock Hogan, we talk about this stuff still, and so that's something that you hope for. But Okay, so we got Sean, Sean, Kurt,
Sean,
Sean,
yeah.
Sean Kurt, Sean Flair. I feel like I gotta go Sean Taker, bro. Both of them, right?
Both of them. Okay, yeah, I'll let you put both of them into
both
okay.
of them as one. Let's do that, and then let's see. A match that really stuck with me was Keith and I at Beyond, his last indie match before he signed with WWE.
I'll have to check that out. I think I'll have to check that out on YouTube. Yeah, is it on YouTube? I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, it's on YouTube at Beyond Wrestling. Beyond Wrestling did a lot for me as well. It's crazy is, my debut Beyond was Keith's last match before, going to NXT. And I remember it didn't set in until we were standing there. And just me being like this relatively unknown variable at the time. Sure. And then through the course of that match, I won't spoil it, but I'll let you watch it. Through the course of that match, just the both of us just being able to put on a match that he and I have had, countless matches and training or at different shows, but a match like a live audience, like a big audience. And
sure.
I remember after it was finally over, we were just like beat up and just sweating and just the appreciation that you got from the fans on a debut of getting rival chants with Keith, somebody who's super established on my first day. Them, chanting, "Please come back" on my first day. They were saying like the only people that got those reactions was Keith when he wrestled Dijak, Riddle, and then me.
There you go. There you go.
And I was like, I'll take that company, right? That one really stuck with me because it was just another match to a degree as far as for Keith's good, I'm good. Every time we go out there, we're gonna put on a banger. But it was just one of those things like him kind of giving me his best on that platform, and it catapulted me into national recognition at the time. That one definitely stuck with me. And then it's the most recent one, but Tony Nese in my AEW debut, because it kind of turned everything on its head as far as for what I thought wrestling was, because I came into AEW and Tony Khan was very much like he's always been, every time I've been around Tony Khan, he's always been just super, super nice guy. I think people don't give him that credit of he just loves wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how much of a blessing it is to have somebody who just loves wrestling really having the industry in his hands? I'm in good hands as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
TK right now. But he definitely, everybody was like, Mark Henry set me straight. He's like, just another match, go out there, show them what we already know. And, he, uttered the same sentiment. And then, walking out and TK giving me a pat on the back and going, Tony Khan giving me a pat on the back and being like, all right, go out there, have some fun. And so I'm going out here, I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to go out. Come on, Tony, and then it's like, what is going on? And then, like, what's good? Like, this is what we're doing. And then, getting my bearings about me, piecing them up real quick, let them know, like, hey, Tony, I'm not the rest of these guys on Dark. You know what I'm saying? You think we here that is it's just, as they call those guys, those enhancement. I was like, no, I don't think I'm here to enhance is your impact tolerance, fam. You about to get it tonight. And then, and then, of course, him taking the low road, dropping me on my head, kneeing me in the face. And my coach's words echoed back like, if the shoe was on the other foot, he'd bounce your head off the canvas.
There you go.
Exactly what he did. So that match stuck with me for a completely different reason, even though it's only a few weeks old. And so next time I see Tony Nese, which will be in a few weeks,
okay,
it's a wrap for him. It's a burrito. It's a wrap. He's out of there. He's
Man,
leaving with concussion symptoms for certain.
That running knee also, that running knee always
brutal.
Looks so brutal.
People are like, do you watch the match back? I couldn't watch it if I were you. Like, I watch it every single day. That knee to the face and seeing myself go stiff like that, it just, just talking about it, I'm just like, I watch it every day because it's on site with Tony Nese, man. But I got such good feedback from it. Like, again, it sat with me because once I got back to Gorilla, TK being like, "You all right? Thank you. What airport do you fly out of?" And just, from about that was like 4-5 minutes. And I got sucker punched and I was able to dig myself out a little bit, but, still ended in defeat. And then to have, a guy like Tony Khan, somebody who I respect what he's done for wrestling and the enthusiasm that he's brought back to our industry go after one match go. What airport do you fly out of? That was a big feeling. That was a big thing.
Yeah, and, very, very personal, but, much appreciated on your end. Yeah,
definitely. And then, him walking off and me kind of just being just kind of jarring, kind of being like, oh, I thought this would take a bigger toll than, what it was different than expectations, I guess. And just him walking off and me being like, oh shit. And excuse me, sorry.
No worries.
And then Keith being like, I told you, bro, just show him what we already know, and then the tap on the chest and then walking off and then looking over at Mark, who that day, because I was like flustered all day with everything that went down today, but Mark Henry really set me down and kind of realigned me and being like, you got to get used to the flux of what goes on in wrestling. You got to be ready to fight at any time. You got to be ready to do this at all times. And so coming back and then, locking eyes with him and him giving me the, that whole thing. That's what set well with me, and just the whole roster, the locker room has been great. Everybody's been super dope, minus Ricky and Tony Nese. But I love everybody. Love everybody else. Man. I love everybody else. But Ricky and Tony Nese, they're gonna get all the smoke.
And thank
you
goodness,
asked, man. I'm just giving it to you.
Yeah. Thank goodness with Keith Lee, it was just a tap on the chest and not one of his.
Keith, dude, listen. You're laughing, but you don't understand. You hear it, but
I don't want to. I don't want to experience it.
It's brutal. If you ever get the chance to interview Keith, ask him about the time he gave me bruised ribs for like almost a month accidentally. Yeah.
Okay.
To this day, I've never been hit that hard in my life.
Okay.
And it was an accident. I was like, dude, what did you hit me with? Like, I thought he hit me with something. And he's like, oh, it's just my left. And I was like, what the, bro, who does that? Like, what, why? So when you see him throw people from corner to corner in the ring, it's like, you better be glad he didn't hit you. You better be glad all you got was a chop. Well, people are like, oh, that's so, it's like, you better be glad that's all you got. Some of us have been on the business end of brutal.
I really hope that there's some people watching this interview today who think, oh, wrestling doesn't hurt. And then that answer right there that you just gave, right?
Listen, if wrestling doesn't hurt, somebody needs to send a memo to the rest of my body because we didn't get that email. We did not get that email,
mate. Even when I just did the wrestling training for like a few weeks back in 2011, over 10 years ago, I did it for a little bit, and before I was quickly like, this is not for me.
It's brutal.
The stairs beat me, and I took a power bomb off someone, and I couldn't get out of bed properly for a week. It's like, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
That was like one of your first bumps.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I mean, I did all the flip bumps, but then straight up to the power bomb. Yeah. Body slam and then power bomb, man.
Ah,
Thank goodness I took my chin, or else I'd end up in hospital.
you survived though. Look at
Yes,
you. You survived,
I'm here. Look.
though.
Yeah.
Listen, we say it all the time in jiu-jitsu. If you have an altercation and you survive, you won. Like,
The record doesn't
you
matter. Yeah, you survived.
Yes, you couldn't get out of bed for a week, but you are here 10 years later and we're having this conversation. I'm going to consider that a victory.
That's a W. That's a W.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Take the dub. You feel me? Take the dub. Yes.
Nice one, man. All right, JD, I thought, just before we start to round up, because this has been incredible. Yeah. But I'm thinking about the time difference in that. So, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. This has been awesome.
We've been
awesome.
back and forth. We've been back and forth. I did not know you were on the other side of the world. Like, I did not know, man. So we have been communicating through time and space right now.
Time and space. Yeah. I always wondered that. When I was younger, I used to be like that. Like, well, when I first came out here to China, I'd be like to my friends back home, "Hey, everybody, I'm in the future," and everyone's like, "Shut up, you're not in the future. You're just
like,
in China." I'm in the future, and it's rough. It's rough. Don't come here.
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
So I thought we would, before we start to round up, I thought we would just do a bit of trivia. Yeah.
Okay, let's get it.
All right. Yeah, it's something I've started to do more recently.
I'm a little worried now. You kind of grinned a little bit when you said trivia, so I'm a little worried.
Yeah. Some finishing. Yeah. Some finishing moves trivia. Yeah. People from WWE, people from AEW. Yeah.
I'm good.
On this list.
I'm good. I'm ready for this.
All right.
I've been a bit of a chronicler of wrestling, so I'm ready.
Yeah, and then once you give your answer, or we get to the right answer, as well on top, I'd like you to also give what you think the pain level would be for any of these moves.
Okay.
Yeah? All right. Out of 10. Yeah. Out of 10. So
all right, let's get it.
So whose finisher is the insane elbow?
The insane elbow.
And I'll give you a clue in a few seconds. I'll give you a clue, but I'll let you think.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you might as well go and slide it to me now, because
I'll give you the clue. Yeah, she's in NXT. I think still. I think still.
Is it Kari Sane?
Yes, correct. Yeah, correct.
All right.
There you go.
There
you go. So pain level out of 10. What do you think?
Pain level. She's coming off the top and catching the right turn. So like I think that's like cruising at like that 8, because it probably knocks the win.
Okay.
It's kind of painful, but I think the link effect gives it an 8. Yeah, because
Got it. Okay. All right. Next one. Whose finisher is the Black Arrow?
Hints, please.
They are in AEW. They are in AEW. The Black Arrow.
I'm gonna guess and say it's Malachi Black. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. What is it? Like, what is it?
Pac, the bastard. Pac.
Oh, it's just the red arrow, but he changed up.
Yeah.
That's an impressive move. I don't know why I didn't guess that one. Dang it.
And listen, again, pain level.
That's gotta be like a 9. I just gotta be like an 8 or 9 as well, because I just feel like a lot of the rotations and turns, I feel like it can enhance the velocity of it. So I want to say about a 9. Let's go 9. And it would not
I think so too. Yeah, like I'd be done, like I said, for a week. Yeah. Okay, a few more. So when this superstar was in WWE, their finisher was the Eclipse. Which superstar?
Oh, she's one of my closest friends. Ember Moon, Athena.
Got it.
Adrian.
Nice. There you go.
She's actually one of my childhood friends too. So yeah,
Oh, cool.
I
There you
definitely know
go.
that move. Yeah, I definitely know that.
Pain level. Yeah, please.
I've taken that move actually. So
Okay.
I've gotten my jaw jacked a few times taking that. I'll say from personal experience, that's cruising at about a 9. You're just kind of like, dude, what the like? Who's doing stunners from the top ropes? No.
No,
How do you
thank
think
you.
of that? It's like, how
No,
do you
thank
think
you.
of that? Like when you go,
So,
hey, what's the most effective way to break a jaw? I'm gonna do a stunner from the top ropes. Why do you think of that? Why would you think of that? Why? But yeah, they're definitely a 9.
good answer. Good answer. Okay. Next one. Whose finisher is the one-winged angel?
Oh, come on, man. Like that one's not even fair. GOAT status, Kenny Omega.
There
GOAT
you go.
status.
There you go. There you
And
go.
that's a 10 because nobody's ever kicked out of it. That's a 10. Nobody's
And
ever
it's
kicked
a
out of it.
and it's a Final Fantasy
It's
VII
disrespectful to
reference.
give it anything less.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's a different level. It's a different level of respect. And of course, he's got all video game references. So like,
I love it. I love it.
he's
Yeah, I
winning in
love
my
all
book. Yeah.
that. Okay, then let me. All right, I'll do one more from this list, and then I'll try and think of another one off the fly too. All right.
Okay.
I'll say. No, you're gonna know. No, you're gonna know all those. Oh, you're okay. Let me have a think then. Let me have a think. I've got to think now. I'm trying to think because I'm like,
Yeah.
you'd know the rest on that list. Okay.
You're gonna have to hit me with something like super obscure, man.
I know, right? I know. I'm afraid, man, because we're both lifelong wrestling fans. If I go back in time, you're gonna know them all anyway. All right, hold on. Let's have a look. Here we go. Let me have to think. Just while I do this. Okay, here we go.
I feel like you're about to hit me with a good one. I feel like you're about to hit me with a good one.
All right, okay, here we go. Last one. Whose finisher is the time bomb?
The time bomb.
Time bomb. I like it. It sounds dramatic, doesn't it?
Can I get an era? Can I get an era, a decade in which they performed?
An era is recently, the last 10 years. And another clue, this organization that he wrestles for just signed up with AEW.
Okay. All right, so time bomb. Man, I don't know who does the time bomb in Ring of Honor. I'm trying to think who does power bombs in Ring of Honor.
Think about a promotion that was bought out. Well, not bought out. Sorry. Think about the promotion that joined up recently for a big event.
Oh, NJPW. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
Okay.
Who does a power bomb in New Japan? Bro, why am I missing? You got me. You got me.
Success.
You got me.
Okay. Yeah. I hope I don't botch the pronunciation, but Hiromu Takahashi.
Okay. Pain level 9.
Yeah. 9. Okay.
9.
So we've had the solid average of 9, I think, for pain level.
I mean, I feel like if you have a finisher and the threshold is below an 8, you need a new finisher.
Right. Yeah. If it's like a slap.
Like if we're being fair, like, you know, I feel like if your threshold is below an 8, you probably should you know, if your finisher's not working, like it's like you gotta hit him with a bus or something. I don't know. We need good finishers. We need good finishers, people.
That would be pretty final if you hit him with a bus.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep.
I don't know. Maybe they kick at 1 after being hit with a bus. Who knows?
Roman Reigns would, yeah. Roman Reigns definitely would.
I mean,
he's protected.
He's on God mode right now. He's as he would say, he's in God mode right now. It's hard to disagree with him though. Like,
sure.
I mean, his stats speak for themselves.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, mate. So let's just time to round this up and look to the future. Thank you so much for your time today. Yeah, it's been
Thank you
awesome.
for having me, man.
It's been awesome. It's been hilarious. I've enjoyed it. It's been a good laugh. Yeah, man. Definitely, man. I can feel your charisma oozing through the screen on Zoom.
I'm enjoying it, man. Seriously. I'm having fun.
Good. So as we look to the future, the floor is now yours. Yeah, the floor is yours, JD. One final time. So let us all know what you've got going on in the next 6 to 12 months, and where we can find you on social media. Thanks very much.
Next 6 to 12 months, obviously, you will see me more on AEW. I'll be heading back to CMLL in July. Working on some stuff with AAW, GCW, things of that nature. Once we have that more set in stone, I'll definitely be announcing that, but you will for certain see me more in AEW, CMLL. I'm trying to think of who else. You see me at VIP Wrestling. It's a place down in Texas. Red River, Texoma Pro, New Texas Pro.
Yeah, let us know where we can book you too, in case if you've got any available dates.
Availability is as expected, definitely starting to dwindle away. I'm not as available as I used to.
Right.
But yeah, if you can catch me on Instagram at JD_Griffey, and then on Twitter at JD Griffey. But yeah, man, just my availability is winding down, man, in a good way.
Man. Yeah, that's what I mean. I was gonna say you're moving in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, definitely want to be busy. I used to be mad that I had free time, and now I'm like, oh man. And you get warned by those that precede you. They go, hey, listen, you're trading in free time for camera time. And you don't realize it until it happens, right? And so now it's been a few minor adjustments, but I'm enjoying the journey so far. So stay tuned. We got so much more coming up, man. We got so much more coming up.
Fantastic, JD. Thanks very much. And as we wrap it up, final question, yeah? What are you most grateful for at this point in your career? Final word.
Man.
Yeah, final word.
That's the one right there.
There you go. There you go.
Right there. There you go. The one. That's your question right there. That's the one. I'm grateful for the opportunity that professional wrestling has afforded me to travel, be paid absurd amounts of money to do what I would do for free, and to be able to meet people of so many different walks of life, and be able to fellowship and just interact with everyone. Like just the opportunity that normal walks of life, you kind of stay in an echo chamber of people who think like you, who look like you. Who wrestling is one of those things, like it's so transcendent,
so diverse,
sexism and all of this other stuff that we kind of struggle with. Wrestling has always been able to transcend that. Like even through COVID, wrestling was still trying to fight through it. And so to be a part of that and be given the opportunities to travel, make a living, and meet people, and I feel like that's a privilege and a gift that's not afforded to many. And I'm just forever indebted to those that have invested in this journey of mine, and believed in me and sacrificed for me to be able to do this, and to feel like all I've done is gain from it. Like I feel like others have sacrificed to give me an opportunity to enjoy this walk, this journey, and I feel like I've gotten everything out of it. So just the ability to be a part of it and make money and interact with people and do fun podcasts and different things of that nature, and see all of these cities and countries and stuff, like
Sure.
you can't knock it, man.
Yeah.
And do it with the
Yeah.
best athletes on the planet, right?
Sure. The toughest, yeah.
Can't beat
Toughest
it,
around for sure, yeah.
Can't beat it, man. Can't beat it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time and all the best for the rest of 2022. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, brother.
And as always, not just thanks to JD for giving up his time to be on the show today, but thanks to all of you as well for listening and, for the first time, watching if you're watching this on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe, and ring-a-ding the notification bell too. And be sure to go and check out Astrid Nunez's content on both YouTube and Instagram. It would really mean the world to her and to me. Thank you so much. Thank you all very much for your time indeed. Time to end. I'll see you all in the next episode of the Tapping Out podcast. Bye bye.